In this lecture, we'll take a look at how we can assign materials and appearances to parts or assemblies. So first of all, let's differentiate between materials and appearances. A material assigns physical properties as well as an appearance, whereas an appearance only assigns a physical appearance. And so if we are wanting to understand the weight of a part, for example, we need to apply a material from Fusion's library of materials to get a realistic representation of the weight based on the material's associated density properties and the volume of the part itself. And Fusion will pre-calculate this for us. Another example of where we would want to apply a material were to be if we intended to use stress analysis simulations. We would want to ensure that the according material is assigned to stress test those specific properties under the stress conditions. So let's jump into Fusion now, and let's come up first of all to our profile, and then let's click on Preferences. And under here, if we scroll down to where Material is and we select this, we can see what the default materials and appearances are. So for example, here, we've got the physical material category as a metal, and then the material, so the default material assigned to any part that we draw is steel. And in terms of the appearance, which is down here, we've got steel satin. And you can modify this how you like. So these are the defaults. So if you wanted all your parts to be, let's say in copper, we just select copper, press apply, and then go from there. I'm going to leave this for steel for the time being. In terms of assigning a material or appearance, we come up to the modifications tab, hit the drop down, and then we've got physical material here and appearance here, which is A on the keyboard for the shortcut. So let's start with the physical material first. Our toolbox pops up, and at the top it says in this design, and this will be the default material that Fusion assigns. If I hover my mouse over, we'll see it's a steel there. And then as we come down, we've got our library. So within the library, we have a range of materials, and we can select any one of these, let's say the metals, and we can scroll through, and we've got a huge library of available materials to us, which come with their own properties and appearances. We've got our aluminiums, got some aluminiums anodized, brass, copper, gold, iron. We get down to stainless steel and the carbon steels, etc. So let's say, for example, we wanted to change this material from a steel to an aluminium. We come under the metals folder, scroll down. I'm just going to go with the generic aluminium here. And there are different ways we can assign this. Number one, we can hold down the left mouse button and actually drop it on the part, or we can drop it on the body itself under our browser. And another way as well is just to come up to in this design and then just drop it on the pre-existing material. So if I go ahead and do that, we'll then see that now our aluminium is in this design, and we'll see that the appearance of this part has changed to that of a aluminium. So this aluminium that's assigned has preset properties, and we can edit those if we right click and then select edit. We can straight away change the density, also change the name as well. And then we've got the advanced section. I won't go through all of these here, but let's take a quick look at physical. We can change any one of the, let's say, the thermal properties or the mechanical properties. So if you're working with a material that's been supplied to you with its own data sheet, and those properties aren't quite in line with the defaults of Fusion, you can go ahead and adjust these as you need if you wanted to progress on to do any form of simulations. I'll click cancel there. So that's how we assign a material. And quite simply, we select it. Let's go for another one. Let's go for ceramic. And for porcelain, I'm going to drag this up, drop it on the existing one. We see the appearance has changed. And now we're working with a porcelain part. I'm just going to change that back to the default, which is steel. And then we can move on to appearances. I'll close the physical materials. Let's come up to modification now. And then here we have appearance. At the very top, we need to select whether we're applying an appearance to a body, a component, or just an individual face. If I just select face, then it would just be an appearance assigned into an individual face. But in this case, I'm going to go for the bodies. So in this design, we've got the default appearance, which is a steel satin look. Let's say we wanted this part to be painted. So let's go for a paint, go for a glossy paint. And then let me just move this over. What we'll see is we've got these download icons next to some of these appearances. So this only appears in the case that we need to update that appearance and have it more local, then we can apply that. So for example, if I go for the blue, click download, I'm just going to drag that up and drop that on my existing appearances in design, and then we'll see it's changed to a nice blue color. In this case, enamel glossy blue. Let's go for green. So the same process, just drop it above. Let's now go for an individual face. So let's go for the gray. I'm going to hold that down, then I'm going to actually drag it over the part. I'm just going to drop it on this face here. Likewise for the blue, just drop it on this face there. And that's how we can apply appearances. Another handy tool within this library is the ability to search the library. So we've got a lot of appearances listed under all these folders here. But if we do a search, let's just say we go for, just type in red, for example, come under the Fusion Appearance library. We've got all these variations of red here available to us. And we can choose to use these. Let's go for a matte, drop this in. Okay, something like that. Okay, so that's a summary of applying materials and appearances, and I will see you in the next lecture.